Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to an animated episode of Random Trek. I am your cel-shaded captain, Christopher Ingle, joined as always by my 3D rendered first officer, Commander Brennan, the Mystical Mar. Brennan, how we doing this week?
Doing good. I think I'm de-aging.
Are you de-aging?
Slowly. Very slowly.
We have three animated episodes to take a look at this week. First is from the original animated series, the Counterclock Incident. Uh, then we go into Star Trek Lower Decks and the season premiere of episode 5, or season 5,
Season
season
five.
premiere of episode 5, Dos Cerritos. And we will conclude with Star Trek Prodigy Season 1, Episode 16, Preludes. A lot of great animation this week to look at. All right. So let's start our episode going back, as we always do, to the animated series first. Now, this episode actually is the final episode of Star Trek the Animated Series.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't last very long.
It
Really.
really didn't. And you'll notice too, I didn't name the episode or season number because it's really weird how they did the numbering for this season or for this series. Production order versus when they were released and then syndication. And so it actually gets quite confusing in some circles depending on how this is listed. So, but I do know definitively this was the last episode of the 22 episode run of Star Trek the Animated Series. And I gotta say, it's got a high point and a low point for me.
Interesting.
It really does. Let's go into the plot for this episode and then we'll get going. Um, so the Enterprise is transporting a very distinguished guest. This is the first appearance of one Commodore Robert April, voiced by
Yes.
James Doohan. So this is the
Yes.
first appearance of April, and the backstory that he was the first captain of the Enterprise. And also his wife, Dr. Sarah April, voiced by Nichelle Nichols, who was she was the first medical officer on the end. It says on a starship equipped with warp drive, but
Mm,
let's face it, with Enterprise and everything, I think it might be fair
I
to say
doubt
that that
she's
might have
old
been
enough. I doubt she's old enough for that.
I think it might have been retconned a little bit. So I don't know where that comes from, but in the story, that's what they say. Um, their destination is to take them to a diplomatic conference on the planet of
Oh,
Babel,
yes. Oh, yes.
which also is a retirement ceremony because Robert April has reached mandatory retirement age. As the Enterprise
75, by the
75,
way.
right? We're gonna get back to that. That's an interesting thing here. Um, they come across a ship that is flying very fast toward a supernova. The Enterprise attempts to assist it by grabbing it with the tractor beam and locking onto it, but instead the ship ends up pulling the Enterprise through the supernova and ends up into an alternate universe where everything is backwards. Time flows backwards. Everything works counterclockwise to what actually happens in our universe.
That's the name of the episode.
And everyone is growing younger. The young woman that was piloting the ship, her name is Carla Five, also voiced by Nichelle Nichols, takes them to her homeworld of Arret. Funny thing, Arret is Terra, or Earth, backwards. Uh, and they seek the help of her son, who is a much older man named Carl Four, voiced by Doohan. It's kind of a race against time because the crew is de-aging quickly. They work out a solution that if they can uh, create another supernova, if they can create this at the same point that another one exists in their universe, they can create a connecting gateway. So they're on a rush back, but they keep reducing in age. There are two people on the ship who could help. Spock, who takes command initially, but even he is starting to age a little faster than they need. And so one Captain April
Oh, yes.
takes command of the Enterprise with Spock at his side for one last time. But the attempt is successful. And they actually use the transporters to restore themselves and all the rest of the crew back to their proper ages. We've seen that done in other episodes. This is kind of cool. I wonder if this started that idea. But one of the things I really love about this is that Starfleet communicates and basically says, hey, you did great, April. I think we're going to review that policy on mandatory retirement. And April's kind of happy for it.
Well, thank goodness, 75 in this universe.
You know what though? Here's the thing: we see in the future one Admiral McCoy.
McCoy,
How old was he again? Do we remember?
134.
134, and he was not retired. He was the head of Starfleet Medical at that time. I'm like,
Maybe
wow.
this review of Captain April's retirement is the
Mhm.
reason why
You know, the
McCoy is still active at that age.
the overall concept of this episode is a little hackneyed to me.
Not that.
I'm like the idea of a reverse
We've been
universe,
there.
and
We've
we've
kind of
done
been
this.
there.
However, having April on board was so great. I loved
Yes,
it. And he doesn't overstay his welcome in this. He does what he needs to do, and there's this great metaphor with this flower that his wife has. It is just absolutely fabulous. This flower that only lives a very short time and then it dies, a matter of hours. And going through this universe and everything gave it new life and new youth, as they themselves have found. What did you think of this episode, specifically April?
well, I have to ask the question.
Hmm.
In continuity, is Captain April white or is he black?
Does not matter.
I was gonna say because in the animated series he's white, but in uh Stranger World he's black.
Does not matter to me. And I will tell you why.
And probably because this is a different time.
This is true. But I'll tell you a quick story. My wife and I, we took the kids the last time we all went as a family to Disneyland. And they had just switched over from the Aladdin show at the Hyperion to the Frozen show.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful show. I think they still play it if you get a chance to see it. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. But either way, and it plays out exactly as the movie does. But one of the things that was interesting to me was young Elsa and young Anna. They come on and they're adorable. Oh, they're so cute. It's great. Then older Anna comes on towards the end of the Do You Want to Build a Snowman number, and she's not white, she's black.
Yes.
Same character, continuity wise. And I'm like, wait a second. And at that point, I went, you know what? Continuity doesn't matter. This young lady is giving everything she's got. She's doing a great job.
That's true.
Why should what color she is matter? And
I mean,
so
it's a good point because it doesn't really matter.
it doesn't. And I can understand to some why it does matter to them. But at the end of the day, I don't care that this April is white and that the later April is black. I don't care. I don't care that in Marvel Comics, the original Nick Fury was white and now he's black. I don't
Good
care.
point. Good point.
It doesn't have to matter. It shouldn't matter. I don't care that the ancient one was a male and he was Asian and now she's female and of Irish descent. I don't care. You still add the elements of the character that you need, and changing it doesn't matter and it doesn't detract from anything. And this is a fabulous character who makes to the point that age isn't everything and that you could still contribute. You could still be a part of something powerful. You could still help. And actually, we revisit this idea in a way in Relics in TNG with Scotty, who is dealing with that same idea.
Yes.
So you don't have to be this way.
Well,
Um,
just one of those things where it's like continuity here doesn't really matter.
no, and listen, if you and I are going to argue overall about continuity with Star Trek the Animated Series, we're going to have big trouble.
There is none, yeah.
They were going like warp 30. I know that it changes eventually, but warp 30, I'm like, it's a lot.
No, but there are those universe. I mean,
Yeah, it was a
it's
little
very
lazy.
curious case of Benjamin Button.
It is, but it's lazy. It's a lazy plot contrivance. It's too easy. What if everything was going backwards? Okay, great, fabulous,
Yeah,
whatever.
the animated series is overall
Hmm.
not really that great of Star Trek.
Right. It isn't. The premise isn't.
Unfortunately.
The premise isn't great, but having those two on board really do make a difference.
That's true. That's very true.
And I enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time to see April that really made the episode for me.
Yep.
All right, let's fast forward to Lower Decks in 2024. That's when this came out already, right?
Mhm.
Can't believe that almost a year ago we were approaching the end of Lower Decks. Wow. But yeah, Dos Cerritos. So the USS Cerritos ends up getting sucked into a parallel universe that is populated by alternate versions of themselves. The alternate Cerritos is commanded by Captain Freeman, but not the Freeman we expected.
Becky Freeman.
It's Becky Freeman. Yes. And so they get there and find that there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. And that their ship seems to be more a matter of different choices that people made and a different possibilities. She's a very harsh disciplinarian, this Becky Mariner.
Mm.
Um, she kind of wants to return to being a loose cannon because all she's been is in charge as a captain, and um, she ends up kidnapping our Mariner and switches places. Tries to escape on the other Cerritos, but of course things are figured out, and they're swapped back. Um, and of course everyone kind of comes to their own realizations, except our good buddy Boimler, who thinks he needs to be like this other guy to be cooler. He was supposed to be on the 30 under 30 for Starfleet magazine and was removed for some reason. And so he's tripping out about it. And yet other Boimler got to be on the cover and has been on the captain's chair more than once. And like he wants to be everything that he is not. And then we also have Rutherford. Rutherford is dealing with the loss of Tendi because Tendi is off with the pirates. We'll get to Tendi's adventures in a second. But he meets his other Rutherford who also lost his Tendi, but permanently. And so he erased all memory of Tendi and he doesn't have friends. He's basically a Borg. He just machine and that's it. And Rutherford teaches him to be our Rutherford teaches him to be friends. And it's nice. It's really great. Meanwhile, excuse me. Meanwhile, Tendi is off doing Orion pirate things to pay off the debt that her sister used to help her at the season finale. But she says, here's the deal. There's this big ship that if we salvage it correctly and we take it, your debt is paid off. So she goes down there with her crew who just love to fight and kill. It's all they love to do is to fight and kill. But while they're on the ship, they are met by the Blue Orions, aka the Blue Orions, which we haven't seen
We've seen them
since
before.
original series. We have not seen them since original series. So this was a nice touch of that department. Um, they end up fighting them, but Tendi ends up saving one of their lives. Um, and this kind of causes problem with the crew, but they discovered that the crew really don't want to kill. As a matter of fact, they're only trying to be good pirates so they can go off and learn to bake and become a choreographer and do things that they want to do that is not pirating.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the Blue Orions decide to wage war on the Green Orions. But Tendi is freed and allowed to leave and go home. All right.
Indeed.
Um, it is kind of funny with their alternate universe to kind of see the what if scenarios. Um, but I'm going to admit, once again, it's a little uninspired.
Well, the alternate universe tropes, yeah.
Yeah, I always would like something a little different, and having the more ruthless Mariner is kind of cool, I guess.
Hmm.
I would love to see other opportunities or other potentials here. Just I don't know. It's a fun episode, but it's not one honestly I would purposely go back to.
It's got a lot of great comedy, like the show always does.
Yeah, the comedy is there. I've never met an episode that doesn't.
The Naomi Wildman reference, I love that.
She's like 10 years old.
Yeah, so I mean that's always fun, but you're right. It's not. It's a fun episode, but it's not one of their stronger
I
episodes.
like my Star Trek, even my comedy, to give me still those things that are inherently Star Trek. And I feel it's missing a little bit of that. And it's kind of expected. And I will say that this was telegraphed ahead of time that we were going to be dealing with parallel universes this season. So it's not much fun.
I
I'm
do
like, I
like
already
the idea,
know about
though,
it.
of seeing Mariner if she had made different choices.
Yeah, it gives Mariner that idea, but I think the main thing is Boimler
Uh,
getting his
Getting the
opportunity.
David's head, yeah.
And we do get the beginning of the birth of the Boimler beard.
Yes, the blonde beard.
Yes, all season he is growing a beard. And every episode it gets thicker and thicker and thick. I like that. Little details,
By
but
the
I
way,
like it.
in keeping with these old scientists,
Hmm.
I would like to see Rutherford and Tandy in live action.
I don't know if they will, but it would be
It'd
interesting.
be fun. I think their actors could play them.
Oh, without question. Without question.
And of course, we like Lynn in this. She's great.
Hmm. Oh, she's got the best in the end because the Talin of our universe says fascinating, and the Talin of their universe says is it interesting?
I forget what word she uses, but
I think it's
yeah.
like interesting. Interesting. And so the very end she says interesting, and they look and they think she switched. Ha ha, I fooled you.
Yes.
I love it. Little humor from her. She's great.
And it goes back to the episode flashback from Voyager.
Hmm.
Where Sulu says, "Don't tell me Vulcans don't have a sense of humor."
I know better. Oh, Spock's one of the funniest guys out there.
Yeah, it's true, absolutely.
Especially in Strange New Worlds, we've had some great Spock.
Yes. Oh, yes. There's a lot to talk about there.
Yep. But otherwise, it's an okay episode, and but it's the final season. I'd like a little bit more.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Moving ahead to 2022. So Star Trek Prodigy, season 1, episode 16, Preludes. This one is the backstory episode.
Yes.
Um, it's exposition, but I think it's exposition done correctly.
Agree. I think it's quite good.
So this episode focuses on mainly the backstory of most of our characters. So we learn. Remember the crew of the Protostar at this point are in a neutral zone and in the nebula. The Janeway's on the outside. She can't go in and get them. The Tal Shiar can't find them. No one can find them. They're hidden. They know they're there. They just can't find them, and they can't go in to get them. So while they are trying to attempt to repair the proto drive, they all start talking. Hey, how did you get here in the first place? Okay. So we get different stories of how our characters, except for Dahl, because we learned last time that Dahl is an augment.
Yes.
Um, so we start with Rock Talk. Rock Talk was forced to play in these staged fights as a monster. And that was doing all right, and she would get her sloppy gruel and everything was okay, but the people didn't like her. She's the monster. They like the
She's the
hero.
heel, as they say.
Yeah. So one day she gets sick of it. She doesn't like it anymore. And so she ends up humiliating the hero by beating the hero in the story. And he can't stand it. In fact, he can't stand it so much that he sells her to the Kazon. And the Kazon take
Kingston
her,
sells her to the Kazon, yes.
yeah, to Tars Lamora.
Yeah, the guy she was fighting was actually okay with it.
I don't like that guy. I don't care who he is or what he was. That was cold. That was cold, cold,
No,
cold.
man, no, if he's the guy in charge, that was pretty cold, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so that was
And
her.
I'm actually not sure who was in charge of that arena.
Eh, I'm not sure either, but that's just the.
Regardless, she gets sold to the Kazon, so yeah.
We got a 25-minute episode. We're gonna move at a brisk pace. Then we get Zero. Zero was part of a Medusan exploration crew that ended up being captured by Kazon hunters.
Yep.
Uh, really sad to that. That the way
But
that
we do get
happened.
to see the famous Medusan box again.
Yeah, we do see the Medusan box as well as the visors that the
Ah,
Kazon are
yes.
wearing. Hmm. Then Jacob Pog. Oh, Jacob Pog. This is to me one of the most tragic. So Jenkin Pog is awakened early from a cryosleep on a Tellarite ship.
He's a Tellarite from before the Federation.
Right. So he is forced to he's forced to get up and fix everything, and everything he's breaking down. They won't wake up anyone else. Why they woke him up, nobody knows. But he goes and he does it all. And
It's
he
because a wrench fell on the controls.
yeah, yeah, a very simple thing, very simple start problem. Reminds me of Passengers in a way. Movie we might want to review in the future
We'll
or not.
see.
We'll see. Anyway, but all the work he did has caused the oxygen levels in the ship to not be optimal for all the people on the ship in cryostasis.
Mhm.
So Jenkin Pog realizes, what if I leave the ship? Will it be enough? Yep. And by the way, this is the origin of where we get Jenkin Pog talking in the first person or the third person. So you know how he says Jacob Pog thinks Jacob. It's because the robot that he's with requires him to say Jacob Pog, and then whatever his statement or question is going to be. So
Yep.
this is where that comes from. But he leaves the ship in an escape pod. But that escape pod gets captured by the Kazons.
Yep.
So that was basically, all those characters. We know the origin
And we
of
get the
Quinn.
diviner. We get to figure out the
We do
diviner.
get the origin of Essentia and the Diviner.
Can I just say, John Noble has the
Mhm.
best voice, like, ever.
Yeah, actually, the casting of all the voices is so
Yes,
great.
it's all very good.
David Diggs as the first officer. I like
Yes, he is
him.
excellent.
And then Jamila. I always forget her last name.
From the Good Place.
Yeah, from The Good
That
Place.
lady,
Yeah,
yes.
she's Essentia. I like her as the bad guy.
It's
Uh,
actually funny because Jason Mantzoukas, who plays Jenkinpog, it's also from The Good Place.
Briefly. I
Briefly, being
I also
annoying.
love too. I've been recently watching Taskmaster, and Jason
Oh,
Mantzoukas is the first American to come on Taskmaster, British Taskmaster. Oh, he's
yeah,
hilarious. I love.
and from, of course, Parks and Rec and all that.
Yeah. Oh, he's done so. Jason Mantzoukas has done
Anyhow,
so many things.
but yeah,
Lots of voiceover
Janela
work.
Janelle as
Mhm. Yes.
Essentia.
And what we find out is just kind of a reiteration of everything we sort of already knew, that Chakotay and the Protostar crew went through a time rift that is stable, and they ended up at Tars Lamora in the past.
In the
Did first,
future, actually.
or was it the future? I can't remember the order
Because
now.
they
I've got to
went to
write
the
that.
future and messed up that society. And then they sent the Velnicott sent
Into the past. That's right. It's very
Protostar
confusing.
back in time. Yeah.
It's one of those effect precedes cause kind of things.
Yeah,
But anyway,
we also learn how the diviner ended up in the Alpha
yeah,
Quadrant.
right. And it's just
Or
kind of
the
that
Delta Quadrant, I should say.
yeah. Those are all really great. We find out their histories. And the kids even get to hear Janeway. Let me tell you a story about Molly. You got a reference to
I love
Molly.
that.
I love it. It's a really good filler episode that kind of bridges the gap. And for this series, as the pace is about to pick up for the ending, it's a nice breather episode.
It's one that does not advance the plot, but it does advance the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's perfect for that.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely
great.
perfect.
I mean, Prodigy is such a good show.
It doesn't get the credit that it deserves.
It's the Star Wars Rebels of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mantzoukas was also in Star Wars series.
I'm trying to remember where his annoying voice came out. Sorry.
He's in Star Wars Young Jedi
Okay, that
Adventures.
makes sense.
One of the preschool ones that they did. I've never watched it.
I
That was
watched a
on.
few episodes.
Did you? I don't know. He's a Hutt. He plays a Hutt.
He has the right voice for that.
He does interesting stuff. He's done so many things. He's Dionysus and Percy Jackson. I keep
But
going back to him because I
Jerry
love
Allen White can play a hot. Then
him. Anyway, this episode is a it's not a great episode, but it doesn't need to be, and it services the story very well, giving us that time to breathe and giving us the background we have been waiting for all of these characters except Dahl, and that is an important plot point: is Dahl reconciling with what he is.
yes.
So it's good. I like it. This is fun. This series doesn't get enough love. I'm really, really sad it's leaving Netflix. Both Brennan and I had to buy this on Blu-ray DVD because we don't want to lose it, so we can't review it.
Yes.
So we bought it just to make sure we could review it.
Yep.
But I will say this much: if they are going to get rid of it, if it's not going to come back, I encourage people buy this on Blu-ray and DVD. It's actually very cheap. You can get both. It's three disc sets basically. Seasons one is split up in two, and then season two is all together. And I think I didn't pay more than like 55 for all three. That's not
And you
terrible.
know, what a show. It starts out, you think it's going to be, oh, maybe kid show, 2 minute, two.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm not going to be interested in. And then the more you get into it, the more you go, this is great Star Trek.
Yep. It shouldn't have worked. In all ideas, it shouldn't have worked.
Yeah. And
And
the
it
direct
does.
connections with Voyager are incredible.
Which aren't ending. Because now, next year we're going to have the Academy series and we have more
Yes.
characters
Yes.
branching off and spreading. I'll tell you, I absolutely would love to see like Zero
In my
at
back.
some point.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't know how long Medusans live for. So we really don't. I would love to see Zero at some point brought in here because I
And,
think,
and is it
or
just the, or does Zero sound like Helen Mirren?
yes, actually, I'm glad you
I
said
forget
that.
the name of the actor, but he does a really good job at that.
Zero, or even possibly some other legacy character, like even holographic Janeway.
Well, we don't even know when Von the Cop lives.
We really don't, and I think a lot of that is going to
There,
continue.
Janeway would be an interesting choice.
Yeah, I want to see more of these characters. And Doll,
Obviously, we're getting the Doctor, so
what happens to Doll? That is something I'm always curious about. Is with
and,
only two seasons down, and we know they were supposed to join the crew, um, under Gwen's command. I want
and
to
we
see what
also know that
happens.
Wesley Crusher could still be alive in the 31st century.
That is possible because he now transcends space and time.
Yeah, it's true.
Things we want to see, guys. Things we want to
But,
see.
I mean, Holly Hunter in Star Trek, yeah, sign me up.
All right, but overall, they're not terrible episodes this week. They were
These are
fun. They
pretty
were
good.
they
Pretty
have
good.
good elements to work with. I enjoy them.
Indeed.
All right, next week we're going into Picard. Picard.
Jean-Luc.
Do you ever find when like during season 3 of Picard, when Amanda Plummer goes Picard every
Picard.
time, I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think you're saying it right.
Well, I guess technically that would be the more French way of saying it.
It is. It's with the flourish, and I kind of appreciate it.
Yeah,
But
it's Amanda Plummer. She can do whatever she wants.
oh yeah, she was killing it. She was well killing it. Considering the damage she did. Anyway,
Hey, in Legacy, her dad and her great Star
true.
Trek villains.
This is very true. All right, so randomizer for Star Trek Picard. Here we
Oh
go.
boy.
Season 1. It's a good one. Nepenthe.
Oh, okay, all right,
I
all
like
right.
that one. That is the return of Riker and Troy into our hearts.
Oh, yes, yes, and their daughter. Yes.
Yes. Oh, we get more with the daughter. I oh, so many things we could talk about,
And
which I'm sure
pizza.
we will next week. And pizza. That pizza looks good.
Well, except when it's burnt.
Look, even burnt pizza is good in
That's true.
sometimes. You know, I'm like,
That's
it's
true.
pizza. All right.
That's
So
very true.
next week we will be doing a Nepenthe. Week
Matente.
after, and I will say, week after, it's no secret, we rolled it at the start of this cycle. And we determined that since Star Trek Discovery gave us a 31st century episode, we were going to save it to the end of the season. Or to the end of our cycle. And so we are actually getting the end of the series the week after that.
What's itself?
Yes, Life Itself, which was an interesting way to end the series. And we will talk about that.
Series that
Um,
started out kind of rough and then ended up pretty good.
I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like, you know what? I liked this first season from beginning to end, and I got it. This was not your daddy's Star Trek. I got that from day one. I was like, I'm
That's
okay
true.
with that.
It took a while for people to warm up to it, yes.
Yeah, but that's okay. Brendan, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky, Brendan at Blue Sky Social.
And you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Ingle1984. But as
But let me
always,
just say really quick.
mhm,
You can also find me on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube at Page Turners They Were Not.
there you go. But as always, we end every episode. Kapla! And live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.